Hello and welcome. I'm Pierre Fricke, Director of the SOA product line for RedHat, and with me is Francois Lasselle, Technical Director for Layer 7 Technologies, a valued RedHat partner specializing in security and management gateways for SOA and cloud deployments. Our topic today is getting your SOA to production without high cost and complexity. Over the next 45 minutes, we'll cover the business and technical challenges to SOA and highlight the approaches that RedHat and Layer 7 are using in partnership to reduce the cost and complexities of deploying valuable SOA solutions. Just a few quick logistical notes before we get started. Your lines will be muted for the presentation, but we will open them up for Q&A at the end of the session. On your screens, there's a Q&A chat area where you can type in questions at any time. We'll take your questions from there first before we open up the live discussion. This session will also be recorded, and you and your colleagues can view this recording at your convenience by visiting the Layer 7 website or the RedHat SOA Resource Center. We will provide those links at the end of the session. So let's get started. I'd like to start first by, again, talking about the problem that our customers face, very briefly to give a backdrop as to where SOA plays and why it's important. This chart is one of my favorites. I like to use it all the time to give that discussion. It really talks about the value chain integration challenge. And what I mean by value chain is I mean the chain of customers, the line of customers, the line of companies and partners and people that participate in delivering products and services to end users. Of course, these companies and partners and businesses have various IT assets deployed, running applications, running business processes, supporting manufacturing, supporting sales, those types of things. And in order to really execute the value chain effectively, one needs to integrate these IT assets, integrate the people that participate in these business processes with the IT assets. And the Jboss Enterprise SOA platform is a platform designed to do that. And it does it at 3 different layers. It does it with integration and messaging technologies at the base layer. It supports multiple styles of integration. It then builds on that messaging and integration layer with an enterprise service bus and business event management. You can think of this as a next generation or a second generation enterprise service bus that's very flexible, designed to support multiple integration paradigms, support business event handling, as well as EAI and various techniques like that. Think of it as intelligent integration. And then sitting above that, of course, is business process and rules execution, where business processes and business rules are codified and executed in the environment to support the value chain. Now, what are some of the challenges with SOA today? There's quite a few of them listed here. It's not necessarily always easy to get there. Certainly, we deal with a complex IT environment. That goes without saying, particularly with larger companies. Companies that have been around for a while tend to have a layered approach to IT, where they've built things from the past that work well and want to continue to reuse them and layer things on top of them and so forth. And it's a challenge then to deal with the integration of these things, and particularly setting up an integration paradigm that's flexible. A lot of the vendors offer complex product offerings. Some things have overlapping products as a result of mergers and acquisitions. Sometimes you see 2, 3, 4 products that do sort of the same thing, and trying to parse through that and figure out which things are used for which can be quite challenging. Difficulty developing and use products tend to show up, particularly those that are done in a proprietary development using proprietary techniques internally, and are not in the open world where they're subject to scrutiny like open source is. Sometimes these things are very expensive, tens of thousands, maybe even approaching $100,000 per CPU, depending on what type of offering you talk about. Service offerings, to deal with the complexity, they're expensive service offerings. And, so what are the business benefits, by the way, associated with all this? There's questions about, well, what do I get out? What kind of business benefits do I get out of all this? And you see on the right-hand side here, there's sort of a difference and a contrast between the closed source world, which is quite expensive, quite difficult. You certainly get a lot of features, and so there's obviously some value associated with that, but a lot of these features you don't need 80% of the time, and it actually adds complexities. Whereas in the open source world, the open source community drives us to delivering a much simpler platform, one that's more flexible. That's kind of pretty much what the developers that are building these things in an open community subject to scrutinization and customer participation drive us to do. And so hence the Jboss Enterprise SOA platform is an example of a next generation SOA platform that deals with some of these challenges in terms of integrating multiple integration paradigms to deal with the complex IT environment. It's a simpler product offering, So you don't need an EAI platform. You don't need a web services integration platform. You don't need all these different things. We've kind of combined a lot of that stuff into one easy-to-consume package. Certainly, the open source community drives us to deliver something that's easy to use, easy to develop to. Developers will really push in the open world to make these things a lot simpler to consume. The subscription model certainly reduces the upfront costs associated with this as well as ongoing costs and drives us to deliver higher value because, on renewals, we're up for election every year, so to speak, so we've got to be servicing our customers, and our customer satisfaction bears that out. So that's a benefit of this environment as well. Let's talk a little bit more about our strategy as associates, so how we're addressing those issues and how we're approaching the market from an SOA perspective at RedHat. I guess the top line bullet here would be, to deliver an enterprise class SOA middleware, working with the open source community and customers that is simple, open, and affordable, which is kind of a fun marketing tagline, if you will, but it's more than that. It's very memorable, but it actually embodies the manifestation of what the open source community delivers from a simplicity, openness, and affordability point of view, the subscription model in the open source community. I think it really, beyond being kind of a neat tagline and stuff, it actually manifests itself in reality in terms of what we're delivering. And that's open. It's out there for people to take a look at, and we're tested every day on that basis. And again, the second thing I'd say is significantly add value to business and IT. Certainly, there's a lot of business benefits that can be realized with service-oriented architecture. Those business benefits, involve reducing the friction between the various constituencies and IT assets in the value chain that we were talking about before in terms of executing business processes faster with fewer errors, yielding higher customer satisfaction. And those are the kinds of things that we strive to deliver. And so we go about doing this by creating a highly flexible SOA platform portfolio from the highest quality and innovative components. So there's Jboss Enterprise Middleware, which I'll give you a view to in short order. And it's beyond just an enterprise service bus, although our SOA platform with an enterprise service bus sits at the center of that. There's an application platform, there's portals, there's various things like that round out the portfolio. Our SOA strategy then takes advantage of virtualization. So our RedHat Enterprise Linux is a leading virtualized environment that can be run on. Jboss Enterprise Middleware certainly is optimized and works well with RedHat Enterprise Linux. It works with Unix deployments. It works with Windows as well. We are a cross-platform middleware portfolio, and we take advantage of virtualization. And what does virtualization bring to the service-oriented architecture? It brings the ability for the IT infrastructure to deal with spiky workloads and optimize the use of those IT resources much more effectively, as opposed to having lots of things provisioned and sort of sitting around for that once per day kind of event or once per week kind of event. The virtualization allows you to utilize your hardware and IT assets a lot more effectively. We have something in RedHat called Messaging Real-Time and Grid, or the Merge platform with high-performance messaging, which we will be taking advantage of in our SOA strategy as we continue to deliver enhanced versions of both Merge and SOA platform, which will lead us toward cloud. RedHat today is developing an open cloud strategy, of which you'll hear more about in other presentations and webinars. But the net of it is that we believe the cloud environment should be open. We shouldn't see people getting locked into a specific cloud implementation. And service-oriented architecture, of course, and our SOA platform is designed to integrate from the cloud into your on-premise type deployments, so you can utilize services in the cloud, various clouds, not just one cloud, and you can also utilize your services and connect people in your enterprise as well. Then we're going to extend that to a full business process automation platform to bring your service-oriented architecture to life with the greatest flexibility. We've developed and delivered a business rules management system. Our SOA platform is designed to handle event-driven architecture and business events. We're set up then to support something called complex event processing, which you'll hear more about in the future. And then, of course, a full business process management system. And you'll see us leveraging our MetaMatrix technology and data services platform to further enhance and enable you to use data in a very effective way in the service-oriented architecture. So there's two sort of value propositions associated. One is the open source. I'll talk a little bit more about this simple, open, affordable concept here. It is really the key value proposition, or one of the key value propositions that open source brings to the table. The simplicity, the easy-to-consume portfolio that we talked about. The Jboss Operations Network enables very easy-to-do administration of the SOA platform and the SOA environment. We have industry-leading services and supports, and our open source community drives us toward toward very simple to use frameworks. The openness aspect of it, we're not only just open source, which does give you a lot of capabilities in terms of flexibility and control, but we also are open standards based. So we support the web services stacks. We're involved in service component architecture. We've been involved in the Java community process very heavily, and so Jboss, is actively involved in these things. And we offer you a choice of SOA administration, management, and governance tools as well. Affordability. The subscription model drives, reduces the CapEx or essentially eliminates the CapEx expenditures upfront for license fees, which could really stymie or reduce the possibility for really funding a project adequately, and frees up resources so you can drive your business, differentiate your business better. So that's what the benefits of an open source SOA, simple, open, affordable aspects of our SOA strategy. The business benefits are kind of illustrated on this slide with a simple diagram that shows you a traditional type of IT on-ramp, what it might look like when you get a new supplier. One of the things about SOA, by the way, and you hear more about this, it's not just about the technology. It's a lot about implementing the business and understanding your business and looking for ways to improve your business. And so it kind of forces you to do that if you actually implement SOA right. You take a look at the business, you take a look at IT supports the business, and then you improve both the business design and your IT design to be more flexible. And today, a lot of places don't have that. So when you have a new supplier relationship that has its kind of different types of processes and stuff, you may have not clearly architected business processes associated with bringing on new suppliers. You have to do some more process design work. The process may get implemented randomly or manually because IT has to schedule some projects that take, too long, maybe designing new applications and things as opposed to using existing assets or reconfiguring or plugging in existing assets, maybe even a major integration project, kind of a thing that has to be done to bring a new supplier in. Whereas on the bottom line, that's kind of where you want to get to. Now, SOA is not nirvana, but it certainly can give you a little bit more of what's shown on the bottom line here, where you get a new supplier relationship. You've done the work up front to define what it means to bring on a new supplier. You've got an IT infrastructure now set up to accept that new supplier based on standards-based integration and service-oriented architecture. You integrate the supplier into your SOA, and instead of it being, a year-long time frame or 9 months long, maybe you can get it done in 3 months or 4 months or something like that, and cut the time significantly, which is great value to your business and gives you a competitive advantage. This is the Jboss Enterprise Middleware portfolio that I was talking about in the slides before, and this shows how we go full life cycle across the execution, the development, execution, and management of the SOA environments. We have a Jboss Developer Studio, a set of tools around Eclipse and developer subscriptions that help you get started. We have, of course, then the Enterprise Application Platform for service hosting, where you can host your SOA services and applications. The SOA platform itself is an integration fabric that brings everything together. Think of it as an SOA integration backplane that can bring the various SOA and data assets together. The data services platform not only enables you to access databases, but it actually enables you to bring together various data sources and present a customized view into specific business processes that now you need to look at the data in a certain way, which is really very powerful and enables you to use your data much more effectively in your business, and the SOA then integrates that in.